He's a weak person, and what he's trying to do is get a reduced sentence. So he's lying about a project that everybody knew about.
All right, the president talking today about his former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, who pled guilty to lying to Congress last year in efforts to build a Trump Tower in Moscow during the presidential campaign that year. The president said that was no secret. He ultimately shelved the idea. There's no there. But all of this comes only 2 weeks ahead of Michael Cohen formally being sentenced on the first round of lying. So it's just adding to intrigue in Washington and where this Mueller investigation is going. Charlie Gasparino is here. What do you think, bud?
Well, I mean, listen, I happen to know both of these men personally. You know, I'm not great friends with them, but I know Donald Trump for a long time, like him, know Michael for a long time, like him. I mean, if he's so weak, why was he handling all? Why was he handling all?
I know that was a nasty.
He was handling Trump's dirty work. He was like his fixer. He was handling his dirty work. It was funny when Michael Cohen pitched his book and he had to pull it back. You know, I think he had one bidder, one company bought it, and they had to scuttle the whole thing. When he was giving stories to various publishers about what he used to do for Trump, I mean, they were pretty tough, like how he used to get in there and beat the hell out of his opponents. People that were looking for money from him.
So much so that authorities raided his office.
Right, but he was like he was like a Luca Brasi for Trump. Yeah, and what happened was the publishers would say, "Oh, can you use that story in the book?" And he'd be like, "No, that's confidential." But so just remember, if this guy was so weak, why did Donald hire him to be his Luca Brasi for so many years?
Do you think the president should be worried?
Yeah, I do. He was running around Trump Tower for a long time. He knows everything about the Russians. It's clear that Mueller is looking at the business. Now, I don't think this has anything to do with collusion.
Yeah, I was just saying, but I think this is now morphed into
what was he
just business dealings.
And by the way,
go back decades.
And go back, not even decades, go back to like 2013, 12, and start looking at Donald.
It will not be about Russia at all.
Well, no, there's a lot of stuff in there about how he's kissing up to Vladimir Putin increasingly. And you go back to his Twitter page.
Well, that's what the issue is with this Trump Tower thing, that was ultimately shelved in Moscow, and he was working with Putin to get that going. But I don't know. I just get the feeling that this investigation is going far afield from what was originally.
Well, I mean, listen.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Wouldn't be the first time. Bill Clinton was, the famous, what was it, blue or black dress? I can't remember. Had almost nothing to do with Whitewater. So, I mean, remember, it veers off. But I just wonder what's wrong with having conversations with Putin and Russians or whoever to try to build something there.
All I know is all the guilty pleas, indictments, and the couple who were heading off to jail, none of them dealt with Russia. Each and every one dealt with lying about financial transactions. Right,
that's true. But some of them in Russia. Now, here's the one aspect that I think you have to worry about, which every reporter has been searching this out. Right. And we don't know exactly what Mueller gets. All I know is what he asked people that were deposed, and I spoke to some of those folks. There's the Trump Tower, there's a bunch of condos in there owned by Russians with unsavory pasts. Michael Cohen did business with a former Russian national with an unsavory past. I think his name is Felix Sater, who may have went to jail. There's all these weird connections with people that were on the wrong side of the law, with connections to Trump and Trump Tower and condos.
Just to flip back, wouldn't that be a kick? If no matter, look, you got to follow wherever the leads take you. But if it ends up not being about Russia, not being about everything to do about some shaky business deals.
Yeah, and maybe money laundering, because that's a time-honored practice to launder your money through condos and things of that nature.
Real quickly, the Peter Navarro thing. He's going to the din-din with the president.
I told you yesterday. We had this conversation about trade and Trump. Trump is not going to give up on Navarro. And listen, I personally like Peter.
But will that make a deal more difficult?
Probably, because that's his heart, is Peter Navarro. And I think one of the things that Charles left out when he gave the rationale for the Fed changing its becoming more dovish is trade. And trade is weighing on certain sectors of the economy. There is no doubt. Fed is worried about that as well. I still think they should raise rates.
I still think the GM thing, which was over trade, was something that blew up in the Fed's face.
Was that over trade? Was that over trade?
That's what they said.
Okay, so you're making my point, right? Trade is an issue.
It's about you.
Yes.
You know what I said? It's always about you.
There
are international issues.
Give me the facts.
Yeah, okay.
What did Dr. Rio say? I'm the facts.
Yeah.
Give me the facts.
Okay, all right. Not dead yet. All right, thank you very much, my friend, Charlie Gasparino. And lovely today. Of all days, you just said wear a tie. And normally you just come in.
You know, I know you like ties.
No, you scream to me when you're not wearing one. I don't really care.
No, you like ties, so every now and then I want to tease you a little with a tie.
Sure, that's fine. Something to look for. All right, he's the best. Love him dearly.